Right now in the United States, between 2 and 3 million people self-harm. That's when people inflict pain on their bodies to cope with emotions. 70% of the time, self-harm presents as the cutting of one's own skin. The number of children inflicting pain on themselves continues to rise, and Mid-Missouri doctors tell us they see the most cases during the school year. ABC 17's Heather Hourigan learned what could be causing this growing problem and the warning signs parents should look out for. Heather?
Self-harming is a problem that is often hard to talk about and difficult to see. Doctors tell me the majority of those who self-harm do so on parts of their bodies that can easily be hidden. The most common self-inflicted injuries include cutting, burning, and biting oneself.
Usually when someone is self-harming, they have significant emotional distress and they have very poor coping skills.
For some, cutting is a way to end the emotional pain. Others, to simply feel something at all.
They feel it, and that's sometimes part of the gratification from it. They're saying they don't feel anything emotionally, so they cause themselves physical harm. Some kids will say, or adults, to know I'm alive.
What helps with that feeling is the opioids or endorphins released when someone hurts themselves.
It's like little aspirins being released into your body to kind of numb the pain.
Endorphins are released when you cut, and that, in a sense, endorphins can give a sense of kind of high or euphoric mood.
But only lasts a couple of minutes, a reason self-harming can become an addicting way to cope with emotions. Doctors do have a couple of strategies for children that feel that they cannot stop self-harming. One of them is to keep a rubber band on their wrist at all times, and when they feel like they want to self-harm, they just snap the rubber band on their wrist. That physical pain then helps with the emotional pain. Now, another strategy is ice cubes. They recommend children who want to self-injure hold an ice cube in their hand for as long as they start feeling pain, which then cancels out the emotional pain. Today I talked with high school students about this growing problem. The first two students I spoke with both had once found themselves with a razor in hand cutting themselves. The 14-year-old boy tells me he did it because he was bullied. Those bullied are in fact 400 times more likely to harm themselves during their teenage years. The 15-year-old girl I spoke with tells me she did it because of the mean Facebook posts she was getting on her pictures. Social media, to some doctors, is a contributing factor for the rise in children self-harming.
You know, they talk about it on Facebook and Twitter and social media, and so it seems like to them that everybody's doing it, and so they want to try it.
One quick search on my Twitter and Facebook account, and I saw plenty of emotionally distressed teens showing pictures of their wounds. However, other counselors have found social media as a tool to help find the students who may be cutting.
We have a lot of students who come to us and say, please check on this student for me. It's a good friend of mine. They're making comments on Facebook.
Social media and age aside, self-harming affects all ages, race, gender, and socioeconomic backgrounds around the world.
I was ashamed that I couldn't cope with the pressures.
What did you actually do?
Well, I just hurt my arms and my legs.
Princess Diana was one of the first public figures to admit to such a behavior, one that some criticize as an attention-seeking behavior for the princess. And unfortunately, that stigma still holds true in today's society.
There may be times where that plays into it, but obviously it's something that we take serious every time we hear it. And typically, there's an underlying issue going on, even if some of the outward behavior may appear to be attention-seeking.
There are some warning signs parents can watch out for in their children. The obvious ones are cuts, bruises, or burns anywhere on their bodies. Oftentimes, though, they are hidden, so that is another sign if your child, for instance, only wears long-sleeve shirts. Depression, stress, and anxiety are also signs children could be hurting themselves. Now, as far as treatment for self-harming goes, there is a wide variety. Therapy is a common one, but medicine can also be used to treat depression and anxiety if that is a factor for self-harming.
Thank you, Heather. Experts say self-harm and suicide are not directly related to one another. Those who self-harm don't usually intend to kill themselves and may even see self-injury as a way of avoiding suicide.